Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. What's up, YouTube? This is your host with the most, King Geo in the house. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? Today's Saturday. All right. What's today? What's today? Is the 17th? Yeah, the 17th. Today's the 17th, right? Or the 16th. The 16th of uh October 16th. All right, October 16th, guys. Well, I want to say thank you. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel. Those who came over from other channels and looked at Mighty Golidi. Thank you, Mighty Golidi, for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming to my show, by the way. And you came here, and a lot of people were like, what about the title? What about the title? And I'm like, well, I hear Molly great. And I'm like, yeah, Molly, you can hear Molly. And they was like, they don't understand as to why the title is. And I said the title is because Molly decided to put the title there. But anyway, so I'm just gonna check something real quick, guys, so I can do something. We can start our show. So we got a 16. 18. Okay. So with this said, so we're gonna talk about Mr. Laundrie. Mr. Laundrie. After a month and some odd days, where is he? Right? That's the key. Where is Mr. Laundrie? People don't know where he's at. Do you know where he's at? I'm going to tell you where he's at. This man is hiding among us. All right. And when I say hiding among us, let's not even say hiding among us. Let's say he is among us. Because, well, like Molly Goladi expressed earlier on, I mean, on our earlier video, a prior video, not earlier, prior video, it did show, he made a point that he's walking around with a mask on. He doesn't have any distinction feature in his forehead that can distinguish him from somebody else. He doesn't have anything that can distinguish him from somebody else. So all he has to do is just wear a mask. Any mask could do, right? It could be from here down. You will know it's him, right? It could be from here down. You will know it's him. So I believe that looking into the forest, that was a waste of time. Looking here was a waste of time. I believe that he's somewhere in his family's house. I know his sister knows where he's at. Why are they not showing it? I have no idea, which they should do. But everybody's got to be what you call it, has to attend to their own tune, because we all know what he did, and his parents are apparently covering him up. His parents covering him up, family members are covering up. I just don't see what you call it. I just don't see the FBI doing a lot. I really don't. I don't see the enthusiasm in the FBI. I don't see the enthusiasm in the FBI. There's not much that High Point Police or North Point Police can do because it's not their case. There's not much they can do. But it all falls down on the FBI. And I don't think they're doing a great job at it, by the way. And the family of this young man, the Laundries, they're not doing a great job. Why would you hide this douchebag? This douchebag. Where is he? He's back here, right? Is he looking at me? Why are we hiding him? Well, not we. Heard them. It would have been me able to give him up a long time ago. Well, Molly's in Florida, but there's not much that we can do. I was thinking of going to Florida myself, but it's not much. There's not much. How you doing, Cork? There's not much that we can do because he's hiding amongst his own people. Some family members have him. He's probably somewhere in a hotel chilling, but you can find him in a hotel just for the simple reason because the FBI will probably be looking at hotels, and he may be going under a pseudonym. but you can find out because you can ask the clerk, what person did you have signing in that has signed in for the past 24 hours or for the past week, um, and stuff like that. So, or it could be one of those cheap motels in Florida, or one of those cheap motels in on the East Coast or West Coast. But I know he's going around, and do that. Why don't I go around and talk to some people here? Because when I walk around here in my hometown, I can see that's not something that they talk about. They're mostly talking about politics. This is a small little town. Um, the thing that I would have done if I would have gone to Florida, but that's at the beginning because this process is too far up. Things are so far up that going to Florida, unless you're going down to investigate, if you go to Florida, just if you're gonna go to Florida to investigate, then that's one thing. But there's an old saying: follow the money. You follow the money, you're gonna find out where he's at. Oh, you meant Florida? Because I don't think if he's per se, if he's somewhere in Florida, he could be anywhere. He could be in Miami area. He can be he's probably hiding somewhere where he probably can feel comfortable. He could be in the hood. He could be hiding in a hotel near the hood. No one's gonna look for him there. But I personally, if I was the FBI, I would put pressure on the mother. I would arrest the parents for aiding and abetting because they did aid and abet this young man. They knew, and they know that they knew. Having evidence is a different story. But if do I think he's alive? Yes, I think he's alive. He doesn't have that face of that I want to kill myself. I mean, no one does, but you can tell by you can tell by that picture. This one, he doesn't look that he would kill himself. I mean, most people from my experience that I've seen, most people who are going to do that, they do it with their partner. They kill their partners first, and then they kill themselves. Or I could be wrong, or maybe he did. Maybe he did go to Florida. He wanted to do his last piece and whatever with his parents, and he just left and he just ousted himself. But if he would have done that, they would have found his body somewhere along. If he did it, let's just say he did it somewhere along the woods, or if he did it in the water, his body's floating somewhere. And if it's floating for a month and a half, you're not going to find that. And if you do find it, you're going to find it in pieces, at least the skin wise, you know. But someone in that family does know what Mr. Laundrie is, but someone in that family wishes not to comply. Because you cannot tell me a lot of and I keep going back and forth, keep going back and forth, keep going back and forth. The reason that I say that his parents aided and abetted him because he came back on September the 1st. He came back on September the 1st, and from September the 1st to September the 10th, they were silent. They didn't get in contact with the mother of Gabby. They didn't get in contact with no one. The only person they probably got in contact with was the lawyer. And in those days, from the 1st to the 10th, they must have made a massive plan. Maybe the lawyer didn't know. Maybe the lawyer does know. And then they went to this 2-day retreat, 3 days. Three of them went in. Two of them just, and only two of them came out. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna call. So, what do you think about the flower beds they planted? Well, I haven't. I think it's the flower bed. A lot of people. I don't know. All right, Cork, thank you for coming in. This is a lot of things. I mean, this woman, and I'm talking about his parents, have kept silent. A true parent would speak up. Whether you're gonna get good, whether you're gonna get booed or not, your parents would speak up. And it's a shame. It's a shame that they haven't spoken up. It's a shame that they haven't said anything. It really is. And here we are. Here we have Molly Golightly go to Florida, which is probably which is cool, but we're not going to find. I was going to take a trip to Florida, but we're not going to find anything. The lady's not going to come out. Me ranting at the door is not going to bring back Gabby. It's definitely not going to bring. It's not going to bring out Brian. Um, Thank you, Clark. I appreciate it. Mad love. Let's show that. Gotta show this to Cork. Hold on a minute. How could that boo? All right. Well, that was we got frozen. Oh my god. There you go, Cork. Cork put in $5 for the King Geo show. Thank you, Cork. Mad love for you. So yeah, like I was saying, going for me for Monty is great. She goes out there and she does her thing because that's what she does, right? As all you know, if you see Molly Golightly's show, that's what she does. So before, that's how I got to know about Molly, is that I saw her on YouTube, not on YouTube, on TikTok. I'm sorry, and someone put Molly Golightly on video, so that's how I knew about her. But she went under a different name. When I did the interview with her, she told me she was Molly Golightly. I still said I didn't know who she was because I never seen her show. So I do apologize for that. So now I know. So now she's in Florida, from what I understand, from a friend Cork. So to me, that's good. So she probably raise awareness, because sometimes what happens is that we tend to forget these things and we just let life go by, but we can't let this thing be forgotten. So if I would have gone to Florida, I would have gone more of an. I would have gone in for more of an investigative perspective. Um, we all know that he was last seen at the park. We know that. Um, so you got to just go from there, and you got to follow the money. If you have access to following the money, somehow this kid is getting money somehow, either through a debit card, Western Union. It doesn't have to be in his name. He can have a fake ID. Someone is giving this kid money in order for him to survive. All right, gotta find out who. If you follow the money, you follow him. Why still the FBI has not yet come up with anything? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you a story. And I'm gonna put, and I keep saying I'm gonna put it, but I'm definitely putting it on tonight. I want you to hear tonight's podcast. That I didn't make this podcast. Um, I have a daughter who's 27 years old, and at the age of in 1996, her mother was murdered in Broward County, in Florida, and she was 18 years old, and it saddens me because she was the way she was murdered, and you would hear it on the podcast. The way she was murdered is heinous, and to this day, they have yet to caught the killer or killers of my baby's mother's murder. And I say this with anger, because how can you not find something? This girl was beaten to death. Okay, this young lady was beaten to death. Her nose was bloody. I mean, her nose was broken. Her jaw was broken. Her collarbone. And so once you listen to it, you could tell from anyone's point of view, you could tell that this beat down that they gave my baby's mother was something personal. Something real personal. So with that personal, so you gotta, as a police officer, you do know, if you get beat up that bad, it's something personal. If you get shot a lot of times, it's personal, not just boom, one in the head and that's it. When you get shot a lot of times by one person, that means that it's personal. We all know this. Anyone who studied criminal justice knows this. But that is personal. So why can't they find the person who was next to her, or the person who was with her at that time? I mean, there's a lot, but you're going to hear the podcast that she came on. And it's condescending in the same way because 26 years, my daughter's 27, 24 years has passed by, and yet there's not been any suspect. None that there has some suspect, but there has never been anyone who's been caught. And that's frustrating because every time I get in contact, are we doing this? We doing that? And last, I think it was like a month ago, I spoke to the person in charge. He said, "Oh, King Geo, we don't have a cold case per se, but we're doing our best because they don't have a cold case department." So I said, "You know what? When he told me that we're doing the best, he's going to call me back in an hour or two, and never did." That's like just brushing me off because I kept up with I was very persistent with the investigation from detective to detective. I was involved, and they know because they have it on record. But I just and this last one, when he said that, I just gave it up. I said, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with it anymore because it's taken out of my time. I do want to find out who killed my baby's mother. I really do because that's not a way to die. Um, but I just can't take the stress anymore. I mean, here I am after 27 years. I'm wanting hope that someone finds something on the person or persons who did this hideous crime. And every week is something different. We haven't found anything. We haven't found anything. The podcast, was supposed to help. It did not. It did not help, which it's okay. It don't matter. It's okay if it didn't help. But I would like it to. I would have loved it for it to have worked. But it didn't, and it's a shame. Hold on a minute, guys. So here we go. So we have no suspect. I mean, we have suspect, but like I say, they had no suspect in her crime, and it's kind of a shame because we're not living in 1980. We're not living in 1990. We have technology. You took some saliva. The state of Florida requires that when you do go to jail, you go to prison. There is a saliva test that you have to give up your DNA. So there's no one within that fits that DNA that you guys put in. Can be possible. Hmm? I need to know. So, like I said, so I just turned myself and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. Let them do what they do. I did my best. I cannot stress it. So, but this guy, he gets the cake because he did a lot of things wrong. I mean, he took a life away. And the police of Utah also did something wrong because that's a clear case of domestic violence. That girl was shaken up, shaken up. And guys, don't forget, for as long as I'm doing this YouTube live, you can call in at 804 608 9113 and you can voice your opinion live here on the King Geo Show. Don't be shy, people. Don't be shy. You know, the sad thing is that a young lady had to lose her life because she was young. This is what I tell you, young girls, mothers out there who got young girls, don't always talk to your daughters, have a good conversation with your daughters, because this is this girl went from New York all the way down to Florida to live with a guy who still lives with his freaking parents. Why would you do that? Like, he lived alone, and you guys got a place together. That's a different story. But to go live, me as a man, I would never ever invite a woman to stay in my house and I'm living in my parents' house. No way. I don't care. She says, "Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind." I don't care. She says, "I don't mind. I don't mind." You may not mind. You may not mind, but I do mind. I have respect for myself. I really do. So yes. So Marty Golati is in Florida. Okay. I want to thank Court for that. But she did say in one of her videos yesterday that she was thinking of going back to Florida. So let's see. Let's see if finally someone comes out. I don't know. But you have to understand that this kid, this man, is among us. And like I said, being that we have all these mask mandates, he could be anywhere. And even if there was no mask mandate, he probably still wear a mask because there's a lot of people, even after the mandate, people are going to wear masks because they still don't feel safe. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You know, but we must be. You know, I said that the police officers in Utah should have arrested one of them. I don't care if it was Gabby or it was him for domestic violence, because then you would have removed that person from that atmosphere, and then if that person would have got, let's say if that person was Brian, and they would have arrested him when he came out the next day on RR, that's released on your own recognizances, then he'll probably say, you know what, now they got an eye on me. Something happens to Gabby, they're gonna know, and then to think that when the autopsy report came back, as strangulation. That's sad, man. That's sad to him. This man, I don't know how he did it, but he strangled this girl to her death. Man, if you don't want to be with the girl, if the girl got you tired, just leave. Get the fuck up and leave. Plain and simple. Gabby, this is not working out. She may pout, she may scream, she may do everything, but you just leave. As a man, you leave. You don't stay somewhere you don't want to go. Why? Because you avoid stuff like that. Because when you get angry, people tend to say things they don't mean, or they mean them because they held them up inside for so long that they never got a chance to say it to you. But now that they're angry, they're saying it to you. So when you are angry, when you're in a state of rage, you will do things that you normally would not do. So that's that. So if most people hit walls because walls don't hit back, and they don't feel the pain there. But after they do that, they're like, "Oh, I shouldn't have hit the wall. Probably broke a knuckle, whatever the case may be." But the reality is that when you feel that pain, when you feel that anger, when you feel that squished up, just leave. Leave. I mean, I had. This is a true story. I was going out with an Italian girl in New York, and we were like a year into our relationship, and I just couldn't be with her anymore. For whatever the case with me, I just couldn't be with her anymore. She was a lonely girl. When I say lonely girl, she was the only female child of her family. Her mother never had any more kids, and in her whole entire family, she was the only girl. The only girl. All her cousins were male. So I come and I said, I cannot be with you. This is over. And she says, no. So I walked in and started yelling at me. I don't like being yelled at. It takes two people to argue. I'm not one of them. I've never argued in my life, and I refuse to do so. So as I was walking towards my room to get my jacket, which was in New York, it was kind of nippy. She throws a big pan like this that we do a pork show. This is what we call pernil. This big. She throws it at me. If my room was straight and then you made a right. If I had not made that right, she would have cracked my hand because that was close to the cast iron. And what's wrong with you? You crazy? So I left to the store. I came back, I got my beer, and this girl got on her knees crying, Gio, don't leave me. Gio, don't leave me. What am I supposed to do without you? I've never been alone in my life. That's what she told me. So here I am. I'm breaking up with the girl. But then as I see her saying this, crying to me, clenching to my knee, to my leg, I say to myself, I felt bad. So I said, okay, fine, it's not over. Which it should have been over. Because that right there, that taking her back, that cost me a lot. And I will tell you that cost me a lot. It cost me a lot because this girl right here that you see, that I'm talking to you about, after we broke up, let me read it. Let me go back. I was an alcoholic, right? And through a whole year and 4 months that we were together, I drank every day, but I worked. We never argued. I never touched her. I wasn't belligerent. I never staggered. It's just I was an alcoholic. I was a functional alcoholic. Never slurred my words. Always drove her car, which I shouldn't have. And nothing ever happened to us. And our relationship was fine. Um, she got pregnant, right? And I told her I was going to stop drinking if she got pregnant. So she got pregnant, and I stood and stop drinking. We went to the OBGYN. We saw the sonogram. I was happy, but I just wasn't in. I just didn't want to stop drinking. And I said I did, but I didn't. So one day she drops me off to go to work, and I'm like, she got to argue with me. Oh, but you're still drinking, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? Leave me here. Drop me off here. So she dropped me off, right? I just got out of the car and I walked down the hill. This girl came, went down another hill, came back another hill, jumped the curb, tried to hit me. I'm like, what the? And then she opened the door, she said, get in the car. I'm like, all right. So I got in the car and I said, yo, what the fuck's wrong with you? You almost hit me with the car. Oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah. So she took me to work. So we kept on. She went on a cruise. Now mind you, she had this risk. We were going 4 months to the OBGYN. So one day, I called her up. She don't pick up the phone. There was beepers, so you guys know about beepers. I beeped her. She never called me back. Never. I spent a whole entire day, without speaking to her. The following day, she calls me and she said, "Gio, I got something to tell you." And I said, "What?" "I lost the baby." I said, "You lost the baby? So why you didn't come and tell me?" She's like, "Oh, I just felt bad, blah, blah." Okay. I left it at that. But in my mind, I knew that she had an abortion. So in my mind, I knew that when she went to her mother and told her mother that she was pregnant, because they are raised Catholic, her mother said, "You cannot have this baby because you're not married." We were getting it because we weren't engaged. "Oh, don't tell your father that you're pregnant." When I even went before she got the abortion, he was like, "Gio, when we go to church, do not tell the priest that we engaged. Don't tell the priest anything that I'm pregnant. Don't tell him that." I said, "I'm not that stupid. I'm not going to do that. I know how the Catholic Church is." So we were one day watching Halloween, as a matter of fact. We were watching Halloween in 2016. That's what it's in 2000. I mean, what was it? 1996. We were watching Halloween in the theater, because what we did every Friday, she would choose a movie, I'll choose a movie, so we vary, and then we go to dinner, and Saturday was our day. She goes her way, I go my way, and then we get back together again on Sunday to Friday, right? So we go see a Halloween movie, and in the beginning of the movie, there is a baby that hides, or a woman puts her baby in a trash can, and she saw that we had to leave the theater because she came out crying. And mind you, she claimed that she had a miscarriage. So she claimed. And when she saw this, she started crying, and we had to leave the theater. And then I started thinking to myself, she didn't have no miscarriage. She had an abortion. And watching that movie clip, that clip of that movie, for her, it just set her off. It triggered her. And I confronted her later on. I said, the only reason you didn't want to talk to me is because you had an abortion. "No, I didn't have an abortion." I said, "Yes, you did. You had an abortion." And what gets me mad about it is that if you had an abortion, you could have talked to me. I wasn't going to talk. I wasn't going to talk you out of it. I would have liked for my opinion, but I wasn't going to talk to you out of it, because that's your body. That's your choice. You have the right to decide whether you want to have the baby or not. But I also have the right to voice my opinion. And after I voice my opinion, if you still wanted to have an abortion, I still stick behind you, because you're my girl. I'm not going to tell you, don't have it, blah, blah, you're going to ruin my career. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to voice you my opinion as to why I don't want you to have the abortion. I wasn't going to go into religion. I wasn't going to go into Bible. I wasn't going to do that. I was just going to give my own personal opinion. But she never did that. She took that chance away from me, right? Just the same way I, as an HIV positive person, goes out and I have sex with a female, and I don't tell that girl, I don't tell that woman that I'm HIV positive. That's not a no. That's a no. As a man, I'm supposed to let her know. Listen, this is even before we get. This is what I have, because it's up to her if she decides to move forward in the relationship. It doesn't have to be sexual. It has to be a relationship. If she wants to continue on a relationship, um, that she thinks that she can see herself with me and me with her, she wants to continue, then she's got to know that I have HIV. I cannot go into a relationship not knowing that she does not know because of that same reason. Because if she does get it, I don't want to be thrown back to me and say, you know what, you gave it to me, you never told me. No. If it does happen that I gave it to you, you knew about it. We took a lot of precautions, blah blah blah, and that's it. But you always give the other person that choice, the chance. I cannot. It'll be irresponsible for me not to give that woman that chance. So the same way that the same way that she did that, she didn't give me the opportunity to voice my opinion on the abortion. So we left it at that, and then like 4 months later, she writes me a note. Not a note. She texts me the beeper. Remember, don't forget the beeper. He beeps me and says, "Gio, I don't want to be." I remember like it was yesterday, July 28th, 1997. No, 1996. Giovanni, I don't want to be with you anymore. On a beeper, bro. You can't wait and tell me that face to face, right? So that was on a Sunday. On Tuesday, I meet my friends in the Bronx and they go, "Yo, Gio, we saw your girl in a club that you want me to do." So she calls me on a Wednesday and said, "Yo, Gio, I got something to tell you." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, she's like, "I'm seeing somebody else." And what you want me to do? And so that was it. And the reason that I say I regret taking her back was because a few months after that, without us even seeing each other at all, she took out an order of protection out of me. And when she took out the order of protection out of me, I told her, "Why are you doing this?" Because she said, "My boyfriend is scared." Like, your boyfriend is scared of what? I don't even know your boyfriend. I don't. Never met the guy. I don't want to know the guy. Why would I accepted the fact that she broke up with me because of the alcohol, and I'm cool with that. You got to do what you got to do, but as you're doing what you got to do, then just leave me alone. You broke up with me. There's no need for you to call me what she was doing. There's no need for you. This girl used to drive all the way from the Bronx, pick up a boyfriend in the Bronx because they live close. And now her husband picked him up, dropped him off in Westchester County. Dropped them off in Westchester to drive all the way back to Yonkers, pick me up, hang out with me from the morning all the way to around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, drop me off at home while the order of protection was still on, while she would go back and pick him up in the afternoon. But I was unaware that she was doing this. Had I known that she was picking him up, I wouldn't have done that because I don't play that game. You were a man that said, I don't deal with married women who are on the rebound. I don't do that. I have respect. So she was doing that, and then just one day, I called her and she called. And then it was December the 6th, 1996. She called. I called her. Said, "Listen, what can we see?" Because she had told me, "Gio, in January I get some time off from vacation from school, and I'm gonna spend it with you." So I said, "Okay, cool, fine, no problem." But like I said, I did not know that they were together. And then she just on December 6th, 1996, something flicked a switch, and she's like, "How you a motherfucker? Blah blah blah. Don't call me." I said, "What the fuck did I do?" And after that, I said, "Well, you know what? So you don't want to talk to me? So if you don't want to talk to me, at least tomorrow, let's go. Let's say our goodbyes." And that was my mistake. And I told her Sylvia, that's her name, Sylvia, no cops, no anything. And she's like, "Okay." So when I went to see her in the Bronx, who was waiting for me? Popo. So I get arrested, and they arrest me for violation of order protection. The order, you know how she got this order protection? She got this order protection saying that I was following her. I never followed her, but in New York, any woman can go to and get an order protection. But anyway, so I went to jail. I did 3 days. I did 3 weeks. I did 3 weeks and I remember this like if it was yesterday. From December the 7th, 1996, I came out of jail January 6th, 1997. I came out with 3 years probation, right? Because it was a misdemeanor. So the following day, January 7th, I had to report myself. You had 24 hours to report yourself to your probation officer. I did do that the following day because I was living at my sister's house on 162nd Street and 166. So I went from my sister's house in the morning Went to my probation office. My probation officer was not there. Went back home. Around 2:15, my sister said, Gio, go pick up my niece. I picked up my niece in the school, came back home, stood at home around 6:30 to 7. My sister was going to church like around 6:45. We left to pick up the other people from the church. We finished around 8. We did the Friday service. I think it was on Friday. We did the Friday service. And around 11 o'clock, we got out of church and we started taking people to their home, right? On January 16th, 10 days later, my people, I get a call. I get arrested because she said that I called her, that I went to her house on January the 7th. Mind you, this is January 7th where I went to my probation officer. This is January 7th that I was at the school. This is January 7th when I was at church. All right. So in the indictment, she said, on or about January 7th. So I was going to take this to trial because I could have beaten this at trial. I could have beaten this at trial because I had witnesses that would have collaborated where I was. The probation officer is number one. For me to go from where I'm at 161st Street, 161st Street, walking to Pelham Parkway is a long way. Even if I took the train, I would have to go from 167th Street all the way down to 149th Street, and from 149th Street, take the train, go all the way back to Pelham Parkway. And that takes around 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the train. So she said, because in her indictment, she said, I was walking, that I followed her. You have a car. How come I follow you? But anyway, so they arrested me. They gave me a felony because of that. So I did a year because of this woman's lies. And in that year, like I said, I was going to take this to trial, but I didn't take it to trial because I already did 4 months. And the system back then, Giuliani's friend got killed. And that's why they made it a felony. I was the first one in New York to get arrested because of that. January 16th, guys, at 12:01 a.m. It was a misdemeanor until then. And I got caught with it because of a felony. And then everything went awry. I had my daughter in Florida, which I had not seen for months. And here I am in jail with these murderers, with these rapists. I'm trying to call my daughter's grandfather so I can speak to my daughter. They never called me. I mean, they never picked up the phone. I did this for 8 months, trying to talk to my daughter because she's the only thing that I want to talk to. I didn't get nowhere. The grandfather didn't pick up the phone, nothing. I went to the church on Tuesday, the Catholic church, because the priest will give you a phone call. And I even did communion so I can get more time to speak to my daughter because I wanted to talk to her. To no avail. My sister tried to call, to no avail. So when I finally got out of jail, which was August 28th, 1997, after 8 months, I called. And the grandfather said, hey, yo, G, I'm sorry to tell you, but my wife passed away of cancer. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And your daughter, Priscilla, which that's her name, was given up for adoption. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about giving up for adoption? Yeah, because I couldn't handle it. I said, yeah, but I said, Roy, I've been trying to call you. I've been trying to call you for the past 8 months. You got my sister's number. Why couldn't you call? Why couldn't you call? When I called you, why couldn't you just pick up the fucking phone? You always call me when something's wrong. But now you decide not to call me? I mean, you have not to find out. 8 months is nothing. And guys, I lost my daughter because of that. And he gave her up to her foster care. And from there, I never saw my daughter again until 2012 when I saw her when she just turned 18 years old. And she just turned 18, and to this day, my oldest daughter, my first daughter, resents me because she believes that I fucked up and blah blah blah. And her and I don't have the relationship that I want to have with her because she still has that resentment. And everybody's telling me, hey, Gio, just let her be. She'll come around. But I don't think so. She's 27 years old right now. And the other day, she's like, I want to talk to you, because when we first met, I was overjoyed. I was overwhelmed. My daughter, I haven't seen my daughter since she was 2 years old. And we spoke and everything. And I kept calling her when she told me not to. I just said, give me space. But I haven't seen my daughter in 16 years. I was joyed. Finally, I got to see my daughter. He said that I pushed her away because of that, and she was like she was afraid of me because I was calling all the time. So I just let it be, and I would text her. I would send her her gifts for birthdays and Christmas. I don't know if she ever opened them up. And then that's it. And then I spoke to her maybe 2 months ago. She goes, I'm going to give you another chance. 3 months ago, I'm going to give you another chance and stuff like that. And then I spoke to her. I didn't speak to her. I sent her a message through Facebook. Hey, listen, I have an idea for New Year, not for New Year's, for Halloween. And she's like, very nasty. Like, I'm gonna block you. Then I tell you to leave me alone. I mean, give me space. Blah blah blah. I'll text you. I said, oh my bad. So I said my bad, and I just said, you know what? I'm not gonna go after her no more because her being in foster care was not my fault. Because when I went before I even got arrested, my plan was to go back to Florida and take care of my kid. You know, when he told me that he gave up my daughter up for adoption, that hurt me. It really did. But then in a way, I felt relief because I said to myself, I asked him where she's with, and he told me that he's with this certain family. The man is a doctor, and the woman's a lawyer. I mean, the man is a lawyer, and the woman's a teacher. So I said, probably they can give her something that I can't because I was still, even after those 8 months being in jail, my first thought was my daughter, to be honest with you. And then I was sober for 8 months, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go back to drinking. And I did something that I shouldn't have done that was called relapse, and I don't believe in the word relapse. Now I don't. Then I did, and I just started drinking, and I didn't see my daughter because he told me that she was okay. And I said to myself, what kind of life can I give her? At least you should parents that's going to give her something. So that's why I ended up. That's why I got angry at this young lady whom I broke up with the first time, and I took her back because I felt bad for her, and that feeling bad cost me my daughter. Okay, and I'm crazy with my daughter, but my oldest daughter, doesn't want anything to do with me. She was adopted. She was the foster care to foster care. She told me her horror stories, and it's kind of sad, that me as a father was not there, and I feel guilty for that. But I don't feel guilty in a certain way because that was not my fault. I got arrested because a stupid woman wanted to take out a stupid order of protection. Had I done that, had I violated the order of protection, you know what? I say fuck it, I did it because I'm a man. I always take responsibility for what I do. Had I done that shit, I wouldn't have cared. I really would have. And you give me the year, I'll do the year. I'll do the year, no problem. What's up, Bruce? But it wasn't. And being in there just hurt me. I was not able to talk to. Was not able to talk. I could not talk. I didn't even care talking to my mom. All I wanted to do was talk to my daughter. But it is what it is, right? No hard feeling. No. Can't say no harm, no foul. There was a harm. But that's what it is, man. So when they haven't found the murderers or murder for the person or persons who killed her mom, it angers me because we live in an age where technology is advanced. But being that from stories that they say she was working at a strip club, that she owed money, so the police officers really didn't want, although the detectives really don't want to give too much into it. She's white trash in their eyes. She's white trash. You know, but it is what it is. I've given up on those officers. I've given up on the detectives. I've given up on a lot of things when it comes to that case. And when my daughter told me, I want me to block you, stop calling me, I'll call you. I said, you know what? I'm going to give up on that too because I spent so much time in the past 20 years thinking of my daughter, my oldest daughter. How is she? How's she doing? Did she eat? Is she okay? To get resented. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I was at the door. Oh my God, who's that guy? So, what was I? So it angered me that I lost my daughter. That I had that, because I talked to my daughter every day, especially every Tuesday. We used to speak to each other, and little gabble here, little gabble there. But at least I got to hear her voice, and that's the one thing that I missed. That you do 8 months for a crime that you did not commit. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a saint because I'm not no saint, but for what that order of protection, no, there was no need for her boyfriend to say he was scared and take out on protection. For her to take it out on me, I was fine with it. I didn't bitch around when she said it was over. I didn't none of that. But it is what it is. I mean, there was no need to did what she did. I mean, I respected her wishes. She said it was over. It was over. That's it. If I was younger than that, then I would have been, no, it can't be over. No. But I ain't gonna sweat no one girl. Are you crazy? I just cared about my daughter, and by taking that away from me, you did a lot. So so I was gonna take it to trial, but I didn't take it to trial because I said to myself, it's gonna hurt me even more seeing her on that witness stand lie, and that's gonna get me so angry, and it's gonna get me so mad that, to be honest with you, I probably would have done something because she got me so mad. If you're gonna accuse me of something that I did. Accuse me of something that I did. I'll be glad. I'd be more than happy to go to jail for something that I did do. I have no problem with that. I really don't. What I do have a problem is being accused of something I did not do. That I do have a problem with. Took away a year, took away 8 months of my life that I didn't see my daughter. And then when I did get to see my daughter, now it's back. Sometimes I see to myself, the way my daughter feels about me now, it's like I wish I never had met my daughter because I should have just kept on with that thought of, what? Is she out there? She having fun? Is she, blah, blah, blah? Because the way she speaks about me and I don't want to talk to you, blah, 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 this. And, it's just, I don't want to know about you and stuff like that. That hurts. As a father, it hurts. Had I been a callous man, had I was a coward, that I didn't take care of her, blah, 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 I can deal with that. I really can. Because it's true. If I wasn't in her life and I was a piece of shit of a father, then I wouldn't care. She had all the rights to be mad and she didn't want to talk to me. That's fine. But I was not given that chance. Right? She was taking from me as I was in jail. She was taking from me. And by that I means that her grandfather gave her up. Didn't get a chance because that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna go from New York. I got out of jail. I was gonna go from New York, say hi to my sister, and I was gonna go back, and I was gonna go to Florida, even if it meant me living in the streets. I didn't care. I would have gone and moved to Florida just to be with my daughter. If I had to do a shelter thing with my daughter, I would have done it. I'm not afraid of that. But I never got that opportunity. I never did. And when I saw my daughter in 2012, I mean, that was one of the happiest days of my life. Besides having her, besides having my second daughter, but she was my first. She's my princess. They're both special to me. But I just now I feel bad. I can't speak to my daughter. I can't say hi to her, knowing that she knows who I am, knowing that I could just press a button and say hi, but that little hi can cost me not talking to her again because that's the way she is. For some reason, she's angry, and I don't know. I can't talk to her about it because she refuses to talk to me. Try to be friends with her, but she refuses to be friends. She just it's one of those things I call you thing, and it hurts. It really does because I really, really, really was happy when she was born. I mean, it's not as a person. I don't go around as a man getting women pregnant because that's not my thing. But I really did want her mom to be the mother of my children. Her mother knows about it before she passed away, and I thought that things were going to be different with this young lady, but it wasn't. And I was cool with that. And when I thought that we was going to get back together again, her mother and I, things didn't work out. I had a little piece of shit of a friend who I thought was my friend get in the way of that relationship getting back together again. Always be careful who's your friend is, man. Have your circle this moment because even that person that you think is your friend is just not your friend because this motherfucker got into my relationship, got my baby's mom hooked up on. All she ever did was dweed, to be honest with you. But after we broke up, he decided to go out with her because I can't compete with her because he has the money. He was a cokehead. He decided to do coke, and she got him hooked. He got her hooked up in coke, and then he got her hooked up in other drugs. She was just young. I cannot blame her because she was young. She did not know. But be careful who you choose as friends, bro. Or those same friends that you think is your friends, they stab you in the back. And to this day, well, not to this day, maybe I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was angry at him. I really was. And if I saw him in the streets, I'd probably beat the crap out of him. I saw him 20 years ago when he spoke to me. And all I saw was just evil. I just wanted to do just hit him real bad. But the girl that was with that time said, "Yo, Gio, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not. Going back to jail for an asshole like that." And then if I would have smacked him, because he probably wouldn't even take a punch. If I would have smacked him, then I would never have my second daughter. So everything, the way I see it is everything happens for a reason. All right. Had I not gone to jail, if I would have taken care of my first daughter, my second daughter would have never been born. Never. But my daughter went through a lot through foster care that I wish she didn't, and I feel bad for her because I am her dad. I'm supposed to protect her. None of that stuff's supposed to happen to her. But it did, and unfortunately it did, and there's nothing that I can do about it now. I'm not trying to rekindle the past because I can't. I'm not trying to be daddy because I can't. That's something you have to earn. But I would like to be a friend. I would like to start up a friendship with my daughter. That her and I can speak. She can let me know what's going on. Get to know her so she can get to know me. But too many things have been said about me from her side of the family that they don't even know me, never met me in my life. But said things about me that has influenced her. I think that's influenced her, and that's it. But it is what it is, man. I want to be 50 years old in November. I can't let these little things happen. Bother me. Do I want to be with my daughters? Yes. When I looked at both of my daughters next to me, yes. I don't want to say much because I don't cry. But there's nothing that I can do. That's her choice. You choose who you want to hang out with. You choose, if you want me to be in your life, you choose it. He knows my number, right? I never had the opportunity to be with my father because my father was an alcoholic. And the time that I wanted to spend with my father, the time that I did spend with my father, not that he was not that he was drinking, that didn't bother me. We never spent time with me. I was a drunk for most of my life, and I spent time with my daughter. I didn't miss my daughter's recital. I didn't miss my daughter's games, volleyball games. I didn't miss my daughter's track and field. Everything that my daughter did that she was involved in, I was always there. I remember everything that she did. I was always there. I was there when she broke her first board in karate. I was there. Her mother, biological mother, wasn't there because she never been. My daughter never met my second daughter. Has never even met her mom because her mom refuses to. Her mom left her when she was 10 months old for another guy, and that's how I got the HIV. And then, I can't do that. So I would have never had my second daughter. So things like I said, things happen for a reason. I'm proud of both of my daughters. I really am. They are different, and they're different. Let me see. Well, yeah, they are different because I don't know too much. I don't know about too much of my older daughter, so I can't say. I want to know, but my youngest daughter, the only thing that we have in common is that we're hard headed to a degree. To a degree. Other than that, we have nothing in common. She's very pretty. Of course, look at me. Oh, come on. but we have, as far as other things, we think differently. We look at life differently. I instilled strong values to my daughter. Those didn't work out, but that's for another story. I don't want to put everything out here. I'm pretty good milkshake. So yeah, and one day I will. One day I will talk about my child abuse, my molestation, my journey through alcoholism. Bruce knows my journey through alcoholism. He spent most of his life with me. Not most of his life, his younger life. Bruce is my nephew. I always beat him up in baseball. He always crying. Uncle G, you beat me in baseball. But I gotta let him beat. He's my nephew, right? So I gotta let him go on to games. So yeah. Hey, got that 80. So it's amazing, right? It's shocking and amazing at the same time. The things that um we do, you know. Like I said, I want to be with my kids. I'm going to be 50 years old. I want to spend time with my kids. That's why I believe. That's why you see most of people. I'm gonna retire when I'm 70 something. Joe, fuck that. I'm not retiring at 70. I'm retiring at 60. In 10 more years, I'm retiring because I don't want to live. My father died at 77, and that man didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. He didn't enjoy life because all he did was drink. And even if you drink it, that's the thing, fine. But that's not me. I want to enjoy life. I want to travel. I want to see things. I want to explore. Fuck. I'm not gonna be working for no company for 10, 12 years. I get the money, okay, fine. But it's like, you know what? I want to work another 20 years. No, I want to enjoy life. I want to enjoy my kids. So not like I already enjoy my kids, but I want to enjoy my kids. If I have grandchildren, if I have grandchildren, I want to enjoy my grandchildren. If I don't have grandchildren, damn, I'll die. Nah, I want to enjoy life, man. You know, something just came to my head. I want to also preach the word of God because I know that I have the knowledge for that. You know, but I want to do good. You know, I want my legacy to leave behind that. King Geo left. My legacy to now is I was a good father because I raised my daughter until she was 18 years old, from 10 months old. Let's say from the day she was born, because the baby's mother, my ex-wife, was only there for 10 months of my daughter's life, and then she left, and I've been there ever since. So let's say a whole life. So I was a single father until I got remarried 10 years later. I was a single father for 10 years. I raised my daughter for 10 years. And of course, I had Mama Duke's help. Um, yeah. And then the other legacy is I stopped drinking alcohol after 20 some odd years. I've been sober for fucking 8 years. And that's a feat in itself. That's a triumph for me. It's a triumph. Um, So those are the two little legacies that I have, and I want to leave more. I want my grandparents, my grandchildren to say, "Why did Grandpa Gio?" No, it can't be Grandpa Gio. That's down too old. Got to be Gio. Nah, you can't call me Grandpa Gio. No, got to be Gio. See, what did Grandpa Gio do? And I want them to know that your Grandpa Gio did this, your Grandpa Gio that. I want to be able to I want to be able to leave a legacy that my voice was heard. That he changed a little bit. He changed the world. You can't change the world, but you could try to be something positive in the world, and that's what I want to do. I want my kids to know, my grandchildren to know that perseverance, that whatever you want, you go and get. Don't let nothing get you down. Whatever you need, you go get it. You let nothing or no one get you down. That you that you know have the circle of your friends should be limited, should be small. Those people, you let those people that have your same aspirations, have your same goals, do the things that those are the friends that you need. Those friends that are going to push you, not friends that are going to get you down. Not friends that going to yo, let's go to the bodega and steal. Oh, yo, let's steal this. Oh, yo, let's get high all the time. Oh, let's do some meth or let's do some coke. No, those are not your friends. Those are people who wants to bring you down. Plain and simple. So yeah, so I do have a lot of stories that I can post. I do have a lot of stories. I'm just trying to build my audience so I can tell them all. So I can tell you one by one my story, how I became this grand Gio. Can't say grand wizard because that's no good. You don't want to say that. You know, but I want to be able to. I want to, like I said, I want to be able to leave a legacy to my grandkids. I'll let them know that my grandpa Gio was a cool grandpa. You know, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see. So Molly, you were down in Molly Golidi, you down in Florida. You left without saying goodbye to me. That's all right. You should have let me know. I probably would have gone with you for a few days. But anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully she gets something out there. Hopefully she finds something out there. But like I said, I would have gone there for investigational purposes. So it is what it is. Well, I hope she has fun on there. You guys, thank you for watching my show. I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm gonna start doing lives every day. Shit, I ain't working. Until I get a job, you'll be seeing more King Geo. Until I get a job. And thanks for everybody. Court, thank you for the $5. I know that is probably Canadian money, what it says there, or London or whatever. Thank you, Bruce, for joining. Got Tidy, thank you. And StreamYard, like always, thank you for being StreamYard. Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And before I even go, put this banner and hide it. And there we go. Peace, my people. Peace. And don't forget to always pray, give thanks to God for everything. No matter how good or bad your life is, always pray to God. Amen.